running? Yep. So this chip here has a big chunk of glass. It's still kind of glued in there. I don't know if you can see this, but it's this big. Hold my camera up here. It's this big. So I think the way to do this is to do pit filler in a cure tab, like I've been talking about in the other videos. So here, let me film that. So
okay.
He's got 3 chips on this little Mini Cooper. So Dave is going to drill and tap this. I'll usually film from the outside. We'll see if we can see this. Can I get on this side and then I won't be getting the customer. Can you see to tap that now?
Yeah.
To drill it, go ahead. You're still drilling. So we're going to drill and tap it. Maybe we'll get a little different perspective from the outside. I think what we'll get is going to be a lot of glare and stuff, but added to the other videos, it might be okay. They go into the hood? No. Okay, luckily. All right, so let's see if I can see this when you tap it. Go ahead. Yeah, we're not going to be able to. But, yeah, maybe come around this side. Yeah, here we go. There we go. All right. Maybe we might be able to see it. Let me steady my hand. All right, go ahead. Yeah, I don't know how much you see. Did we get our connection? Yeah, you did. Okay. Just sometimes maybe the outside we get a little something different. But, so anyway, back to this one. So we're going to take pit filler and we're going to put a cure tab on there. You got to do this before. You got to decide if your injector can make a seal. So just put a nice amount of pit filler.
So around it?
All around.
Okay.
Because we want it, yep.
All around the outside of it?
All over it. Okay. So we can get the whole that area filled in. And then just put your cure tab on there. And
good?
Yep. Well, no, on it.
Oh, on it too?
Well, yeah, now wipe it off. Yeah. Only on the impact. We're just making the impact.
Okay.
Good. I'm glad we're doing this because neither one of these guys that really understand.
Okay,
yeah.
So on the impact.
All right. Yeah. Fill it. Just put it in there. Fill it. Fill it in there. Throw your more than that.
More than that?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, here comes the rain.
Yeah. Put a good. You got to have to put a good blob all around the on the impact point. There you go. Now stick your tab on there. That's what we want. There we go. All right. And the reason we're doing this is because there's a big chunk of glass. It's actually still in here. A lot of times it's missing, but it's this big. And I'm afraid if we start pressuring the resin, it's just going to come out there instead of going to the brake, or that chunk's going to fall out, especially if we would have probed it a little. So now you're going to drill through, Dave, right in. I think that's the best spot right there.
Impact?
Yep.
Can you cure a little more or no? No?
Let's see. The pit filler's pretty darn fast. Let's give it 30 seconds here.
Is it drill like normal?
I mean, you can drill and make connections. This one, it's a combination. There's not much. I think you just drill till it gets soft in there. Okay. So go ahead and see. I think that's all you'll be able to do, really. But right in that, yeah, right about there. I mean, we could try tapping it. It won't hurt anything, but basically you're just going to, yeah, it's just going to be soft and fall in there is what I expected to happen. Yeah. So I don't think you could tap it. I don't think tapping's going to do anything, but it doesn't hurt anything either. All right. Okay, then you'll just fill it. So you'll need a shade. And 20 resin. Yeah, well, that's why I want to show you guys what you do when there's a big chunk of glass missing. Because explaining it's one thing, doing it's another.
I'd be able to see better in that shade too.
Yeah, it should help. Should help everything.
And just fill it like normal.
And then just, yeah, put your tool right on top of the cure tab. And then just like you normally would. If ever you do this and you make the mistake of not doing this first and you find out it's leaking like a sieve because there was a little clam you didn't see, all you can do is just keep putting resin, and you'll eventually get it full enough. Okay. But this is a better way. If you know up front and you catch that right away. Yeah. Yeah. So he's going to use the 20. He's going to put 2-3 drops in there because we've already used this tool. 5 or 6 if it's a clean tool. Once you've used it once, 2 or 3. And then you're just going to do your normal pressure vacuum. You can't get as much pressure because it wants to squeeze out the cure tab, but you should be able to get enough seal. Yeah, I can see that filling starting to fill there. Helps if you use a new cure tab, and then you don't slide off and on. That's the other thing changes, because I mean you could a little, but I think just pressure. I wouldn't, no, because once you've got a seal on this, we kind of want to maintain that seal.
Oh, I see.
So they need to talk to one of us. He'll take it. Okay, so we're at a point now. We're just gonna. So it's pretty well. We got a little air right down here at the bottom, right there, but that's gonna come out in time. So I think if we just let this sit under pressure, we could do some vacuum cycles. I probably wouldn't slide my tool, like I said. It's hard to do this one-handed. Oh, I got it, I think, but thanks, Simon. Appreciate it. When you pull that piston out, it'll kind of help pop that out, too. He needs to put a little resin on the threads of his tool, and you tell him then the tool works better. It won't be as sticky. And the threads are covered. If you put a little drop of resin on the threads, they're up inside here, so you can do that. You don't have to worry about your tool bonding together. That's actually looking pretty darn good. Hard to see. Yeah, I think we can let that sit on the sun to you. Make sure we got a good amount of pressure. That's looking pretty good. I think we'll cure under pressure now. Maybe I'll film a little from the inside too. I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but yeah, so that's all looking pretty darn good. So now it's just a case of letting it cure under pressure.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it filling just like before. Just make sure that you get a seal that way.
Wow, so yeah, I'm glad you.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to get a tape of that.
Too much glare.
Like I said, the chunk of glass was still sitting in there, but it's the same concept. Anytime you're questionable about whether or not your seal is going to make a seal because it's either too big. A lot of times what happens with these is you start working on it or use your probe and that chunk falls out, and then you got to use the pit filler anyway. But
so you like cure the same a little bit longer because you're going through the tab, or no?
No, I mean the sun can go right through. The tab doesn't cure. I mean doesn't block any of the UV, so it's time-wise is fine. But this is a big chip, and you want to let the sun come underneath, and so you don't pull air. Plus the air I noticed was back on this side, which really not shaded on this side, so I'd let it sit for a little bit. You could put a lamp on this side and do some things like that, but I think this is good. He said his wife saw the rock bouncing down the road 3 or 4 times before it hit him.
She drove right at it.
Yeah, at least she didn't go off in the ditch. I had one guy years ago, this was a long time ago, he swerved to miss a rock, rolled his car. It's probably not the best way to do it. So she probably did the right thing.
I love animals, but it's not worth going in a ditch. Just hit it.
Yeah.
So she just took it. She said it was about.
Oh yeah, that's
yay big.
Yeah, there it is. There's the rock.
Well, this isn't the one.
Oh, that's a bit about that big. Yeah.
She said it was about like that. Just bouncing.
Yeah.
You could see it clear.
Oh
as day.
yeah. Come out of a big truck or
Yep.
something.
She said 50 yards at least behind this truck.
Oh my goodness.
Trying to stay safe.
Bounce.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been something that bigger than what normally comes out of the tread of a car.
Yeah. She said it was pretty big.
One time I was driving this old Camry years ago, and the big aluminum thing they used to cap the fuel tank, it's off where they hook their hoses to fill up this gas station tanks. There's a little chain, and that thing was bouncing down the road and hit the corner of my windshield, shattered it. Yeah, thing probably weighed 3 pounds. But I could see it coming. Nothing I could do about it. Okay, Dave. Let's see. Let's go back to vacuum. And let's see if everything looks copacetic. And then let's go ahead and slide it off. Yeah, I'm feeling. Oh, see, we got air right there on that side. So pressure back up and get a cure lamp. Okay. So as soon as he released that, we got air back on. I guess this will be a 2-part because I bumped something on my phone. So bright out here, I couldn't see. Anyway, what happened is we started to pull the vacuum, and I could see a little air right there. And that's what I was telling Simon we got to watch out for. See, there's a little air right there, kind of just stuck. So that's where, plug in a cure lamp is going to be the way to, because we're on the wrong side for the sun to get in there. Plus, that was a pretty tight one. Then I bumped my phone, stopped it, so it's going to be a 2-parter. But still, we got a lot of it covered. We'll just put them back to back.
tell it's on or not.
No, is it plugged in good? I don't
Nah.
think it's working.
This thing has a fob, so I think I have to start it.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. That won't hurt anything.
Yeah,
There we go. Yep, you did have to start it. And I just hold it like
is
that.
it on there?
Or,
Okay.
yeah, just hold it like that. We're gonna get it in the right spot. So normally we would suck the suction cup hold down, but I told Dave just to hold it. You know. I need to get the new logo on my lamps. I got to send that stuff in, but it's all right. Keep changing things, and you have to change everything.
Right.
Should cure pretty fast.
Yeah, this heat.
Now the sun's out.
Sun's out now.
Acts like it wants to rain a little or something.
It's going that way. I hope it keeps going that way.
Yeah, we don't really need the rain till later. It can rain all at once. Okay. So usually a minute or so is good, but we want to make sure it's good and cured. You can't over cure. But if you under cure and pull it, then we might get air in there, and we want to get all the air out. It's more of a cosmetic issue than a function of the repair issue, but it's still worth paying attention to. That's probably got it, Dave. Let's see. Let's slide off now too. There might be just a little teeny bit of air back just stuck in this corner. That happens sometimes on the chip. There's nothing. Can't get it all. Yeah, I think that's good.
Right.
Go ahead. Yeah. Pull your tool and grab a paper towel for us. Neither one of us seem to. Oh, he's got one. Neither one of us ever have a paper towel in our pocket when we need it,
I
right?
never had it.
And then you pull the tab and you'll just scrape it like you would a normal chip. Yeah, straight on. I know you like to cut at angles, but you're better off to go straight on. Yeah, yeah. Don't angle your blade because you just cut out what you've just done.
Okay.
So just go straight on there. Get this one out. Yeah, so just go. It's going to be a big, chunk of stuff in there. But there's not much we can do about that. See, well, you can a little bit end up gouging out what's in there if you do that much. All right, that's good. So yeah, so you can see how. Pointer again. So you can see how big this actually was. See, there's a chunk of glass there, and the resin would just squirt it out there if we didn't put that pit filler in the cure tab. And then there was the original impact there. So that came out good, and that's the way to do these kind of things. Now just wash it. Get glass cleaner. Yeah. It's not a huge thing. Basically done, but we'll clean it up. We'll clean it up. Yeah, it's good. And you could set your lamp on the ground. It won't hurt. It won't hurt. I'd rather do that than the car. So, all right, that's it. That came out pretty decent.